Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to WWE NXT. And obviously, you want to know why there was no Monday Night Raw. Well, you hear that? See that you can hear it because my head is hollow. There's nothing in there because I'm stupid. All right. So I filmed Monday Night Raw, and I filmed it after I had went to my brother's house and uploaded that whole week long of videos when I didn't have internet. And then me being an idiot, I thought I had already uploaded it with the second chunk of videos when I got my internet back last Friday. And I did, but the file was corrupted on YouTube. It was taking forever to process, so I deleted it, and I just decided, okay, I'll just upload it while I go to sleep. That way I can go to bed and go to work tomorrow morning and all this other stuff. And then I woke up, and then I went back to work. I started recording more stuff, but to record more stuff, I need to clear out my files because I don't want my computer to get over memory. So I deleted it, and I had it in the recycling bin, and I remember thinking to myself, oh, there's 2 episodes of Poker that I need to check real quick. I don't quite know if I got those up, and I did get those up, but unfortunately I did not remember that Raw needed to be re-uploaded, and me being the dumbass that I am, deleted it. So, quick breakdown, immediately right off the bat, as we watch RVD take on Bo Dallas here to start off NXT. Let's go through the card. The card was John Cena was teaming up with Khali, who defeated AJ Styles last week, and AJ was teaming up with Drew McIntyre, who defeated John Cena 2 weeks prior. So, the story of this match was basically who would have the better team, Cena and Khali, or AJ and Drew McIntyre. And suffice to say, I manipulated this one, unfortunately. I kind of had to. I knew where I wanted to go with this. Because Cena and AJ lost, I needed them to have a reason for losing. And I really didn't want them to lose consecutive. So, I mean, if Cena or AJ would lose in this tag team match, it would look devastating. So I played as AJ, and I basically fed Drew McIntyre to the John Cena and Great Khali wolves, so to speak. So Great Khali and John Cena win that match. AJ Styles is not going to team up with a man from the 2MB group. So that was basically the story of that match. Then we had Ryback versus Fandango in a Money in the Bank qualifying match, and Ryback decimated Fandango. This was a 3-minute match, if that, and I'm not even including the entrance. It was like 5 minutes total, and that was it. Ryback defeating Fandango very easily. Ryback joining Chris Jericho, Bret Hart, and Del Rio. There's somebody else, isn't there? There's somebody else, and I've got him right here. Big E? That's who it was. I knew it. Big E. So Big E, Ryback, Del Rio, Bret Hart, and Chris Jericho going to be in the Money in the Bank. We only have one more individual to place in this match, and it's going to come down to Samoa Joe or Damian Sandow. That is going to be the final match of the qualifying series. And then next week on Monday Night Raw, we're gonna mix and match here. We're gonna see who is gonna have the upper edge going into the SmackDown, or going into the Money in the Bank match at Money in the Bank. So then we had Layla versus Natalya. And Layla obviously has a new attitude on Monday Night Raw. She teamed up with Randy Orton, decided to ditch James Storm and throw him to the curb for the Viper Randy Orton. And Layla, with her new attitude, defeated Natalya. I didn't need to really... It was a good thing, because I didn't really need Natalya to win. I mean, with Layla, when you have a heel turn, especially with the Divas, if you have a heel turn, you should probably win your first match after the heel turn. So Layla did win that first match, thankfully. I did have an emergency story just in case Natalya pulled it out, but Layla did win that match. So all's fair, good. Layla wins, new attitude for Layla, teaming up with Orton, and I'm very happy with that storyline. I told you and basically now that the secret's out, what happened with Orton and Layla on SmackDown. Basically, when I saw and I mapped out their whole storyline. Let's see, I mapped it out somewhere. I've got the Raw side and I've got the SmackDown side here. Yeah, so I basically mapped it out, and they were pretty much pushing James Storm and Randy Orton as the top feud on SmackDown. And to do that, I needed something crazy. And so I had Orton take out Layla before their match. That gets James Storm and Randy Orton some bitterness to each other, instead of just having a grudge match. Oh, I won, you won, that type of thing. So Layla had to go down. And then when Layla went down, and she came back and won the championship that night, I kind of had a second idea. I said, okay, well, we have a whole other month to go. And James Storm lost to Orton, so James Storm has to win somehow, right? Like, you can't just have Orton win and James Storm's girlfriend come back and win. There's got to be some tragedy, right? And even though James Storm did lose, but that's just kind of how the storyline goes. The storyline should end with the good guy winning. It doesn't always happen in my universe mode, but that's kind of how it happens in WWE. That's the formula you want to do. Good versus evil is the basic storyline, and Randy Orton's definitely evil for hitting Layla. So, when Layla won, I thought, okay, I could have Layla do a thing with Orton where she forgives him and she just goes, he didn't mean it, and be kind of sympathetic. But then I was like, well, Layla being sympathetic, I don't know. I really love Layla as a heel. I really dislike Layla as a face. I don't think that James Storm and Layla have as much chemistry as Randy Orton and Layla do. So I was like, okay, what if I do a turn here? And that's exactly what I did. As Bo Dallas goes for the pin, no. And that's what I did. So Layla is now with Randy Orton, and she won her match on Raw. 1, 2, 3, and Bo Dallas. Look at that. And this is why I didn't play this match as well, because I had a feeling that Bo Dallas could beat RVD, and he did. Very good. So Bo Dallas, currently in a performance rivalry against Aiden English on Friday Night SmackDown, defeating RVD here at NXT, and he'll probably just throw that into another W in the win column, or a check mark in the win column, right? Bo Dallas winning that match. I do only want to play a couple of these matches. Like I said, I don't like repetitive matches. I really despise them. And that's one big negative of this rivalry system that WWE 2K14 has. But Nikki versus Brie Bella. Do I want to watch that? Ugh. Oh, Hollywood Hogan versus Ryback. That's kind of interesting, right? That I do kind of want to see, and that I definitely want to see. So I'm sorry, Bella's... No, thank you. Nikki Bella, so Cena's Bella, Big Boob Bella, winning that match. All right, let's go here. We have a lot to talk about, so we're just going to continue on, and we're going to see who's going to win between Ryback and Hollywood Hulk Hogan. It's going to be very interesting. Obviously, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, a former WWE champion, and, well, he was the WWE champion at my beginning of this universe mode, right? No, he had a match, and he didn't beat John Cena. So he had a championship match. Drove him insane. He got angry. And now Hollywood Hulk Hogan is back to terrorize the WWE Universe with his arrogance. But he has to go up against the dominant Ryback. Ryback decimated Fandango on Monday Night Raw to enter himself into the Money in the Bank qualifying match. Sorry, into the Money in the Bank match, not qualifying match, match. And Ryback is looking to upset Hollywood Hulk Hogan here tonight. Okay, but let's move on. Titus O'Neil versus Heath Slater. I believe this one was I thought it was a false count anyway, but that could have been 2 weeks ago. But this is why I hate repetitive matches, is because they're not differentiating enough, and they all kind of blend together. But Titus O'Neil did win by submission over Heath Slater, and Summer Rae came out and managed Titus O'Neil. Like, they both came out, and then Summer Rae came out and managed Titus O'Neil, and that gave Titus the overwhelming advantage. He already had an advantage, so I guess overwhelming advantage. And Heath Slater lost very quickly. So Titus O'Neil and Summer Rae looking to just, again, build that boyfriend-girlfriend dynamic between the two. And I really like this. Like with James Storm and Layla, I never really thought that they would have had any chemistry. With Summer Rae and Titus O'Neil, I kind of like it, you know? I kind of like it. I mean, black and white, you know? Football player, dancer. It's almost a perfect storyline. I really do like Titus O'Neil being matched up with Summer Rae, and I think I just like got a bug bite on my arm. What is that? Is it an injury I sustained at work? Possibly. I don't know. Interesting. It's swelling tonight, though. That's weird. Then we had Spades versus Tons of Funk, and I knew the Spades had to win this match, so I did play as the Spades, and the Spades did beat Tons of Funk. Spades, the only real story in this match, and this is, I guess, if any of the Monday Night Raws I wanted to not show, I didn't want to not show any of them, but if any of them I didn't want to show, it probably would have been this one. I had to manipulate 2 of these matches just to do what I wanted to do. And the Spades defeated Tons of Funk, and there was nothing really interesting about that match at all, to be totally honest. And this kind of brings up a point that was brought up to me on the comments, and that said that the Spades weren't really all that interesting. And it's mostly due to the AI losing to Tons of Funk week in and week out. And I totally agree. But the thing with my Spades storyline is that there's just so much that I can do with it. I mean, Spades is an interchangeable group, as Ryback goes for the meat hook clothesline, gets a 2 count. The Spades are such an interchangeable group. If I need to change something, I will. And that'll probably come post SummerSlam if I have to. So right now, SmackDown is kicking Raw's ass. That's all I gotta say about that. I just feel like whenever I record SmackDown, everything works perfectly, and whenever I record Raw, it does not. And Ryback defeating Hulk Hogan here on NXT. Ryback looking to claim his first championship in the WWE by winning Money in the Bank, and if you can defeat Hollywood Hulk Hogan, you're on the right track. That was awesome. And look at that, like a 4-minute victory. Good God. You know what, let's actually hurry and go to Ryback real quick, because it was very interesting this week with him. I'm pretty much done talking about Raw, so yeah, I just want to hurry and finish up. So yeah, the Spades, I'm still going to try some stuff, and we'll see if I can get Raw to cooperate, and if not, I'll change something probably post-SummerSlam. So, that being said, there we go. Now, Ryback just won that match. Samoa Joe has a match on SmackDown. This is kind of the spoilers for you. Samoa Joe has a match on SmackDown to get into Money in the Bank, by the way, so I'm very interested to see if he can defeat over 9,000 Xavier Woods. Side note on Xavier Woods, by the way. Very funny individual. I like this guy. I'm liking him more and more and more. I think on NXT, there was an interview, and he's like, alright, yeah, 100th episode, or something like 200th episode, whatever it was of NXT. And they're like, no, Xavier, that was like 3 weeks ago. He's like, oh, alright, I'll be back for 200, or 300, or whatever he said. It was really funny, and he tried to walk out of the interview. It was great. But, yeah, Xavier Woods is doing good. But let's talk about Ryback. On Twitter, Ryback, I think this was probably Saturday? I think it was Sunday night. Ryback started tweeting all sorts of nonsense, and then he said something about, I just got released, or something like that. And everybody on the internet went nuts about this, and I knew better, because if you go to WWE.com, and you go to Ryback, it's got all of his tweets. Doesn't matter if he deletes them, they're on the WWE page. So, he tweeted a whole bunch of nonsensical stuff, a lot of it on Sunday. And he said, I've just been released, all this stuff. And, you know, a lot of people believed it, especially because on Monday Night Raw, he was, he was commentating a match of Big E. And Big E... Oh my God, what is that? Okay, whatever. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by Xavier Woods here. Whatever. So yeah, so Big E had his straps down, and Ryback said, "Good Jesus, put a bra on that," or something like that. He said, "Put a bra on that, man, Jesus." And that's kind of like a no. That's kind of a no-no. You shouldn't say Jesus, first of all. You shouldn't, you know, say that he has boobs or something like that. So I think it was a little over the line for Ryback, but it's making me like Ryback a whole lot more, what he did on Sunday. So on Twitter, he starts saying all this random stuff, and then the one that probably would have got him in trouble was Tensai. He was talking about Tensai. He's like, oh yeah, and Tensai sandbagged me. Like, so it kind of seemed like, okay, so he's had a bad run-in with the company. He said that he's going to be released, and he said that he was sandbagged by Tensai. And that's just not things that you say. And then he deleted all those tweets, and that just sent the internet into a feeding frenzy of rumors. And me, I'm on the Smart Wrestling Fan Facebook page, and I read No More Big Guy. And I think to myself, wait, what? Here's this guy who does get reaction from the crowd. Goldberg, as much as people say, oh, that's a bad thing, if it was a bad thing, they would have tried to stop it. They would have kept him face after his bully gimmick tanked. So, the thing with Ryback is that he pretty much pretended to get released, and then a couple hours later he got back on and said, oh, thankfully the cop released me after pulling me over, or something like that. And it was genius, because everybody on the Facebook page was like, no, what's going on? There were a couple of people who were like, you know, who weren't fooled, and I knew better, because I was like, I need to wait for confirmation from WWE.com before I put up a YouTube video, because I don't want to look like an asshole. And I was just looking at YouTube, at all the wrestling creators that I watch. I was just waiting for one of them to announce it or something. I would have laughed my ass off. I was waiting for them to make that mistake, and no one did, so no one fell for it as far as I know. No one fell for the Ryback, but the thing about Ryback is that when he does things like this, it doesn't look good publicly, but to a guy like me, I really like that. I find it hilarious that he just fooled the whole crowd. 1, 2, no. And then on Raw, I just watched Raw, by the way. I'm filming this Monday night. I just watched Raw, and as he came out tonight on Raw, he did like a typing taunt, like he was on the computer. He's like, haha, big guy, and he did a typing taunt. It was great. Oh my god, Ryback. I like Ryback a lot more after this incident, so, I mean, if you guys hate him for it, so be it, but I love it. In other news, Caitlyn's contract with the WWE is now no more. Caitlyn let the contract run out, and she is taking bookings on the indie scene. Very interesting, to say the least. More about Monday Night Raw. Emma was at Monday Night Raw. We saw her in the crowd during the Divas match. JBL pointed it out, and as soon as he said that, like, I was on my computer, like, on the Smart Wrestling Fan page, doing what I do, just commenting on random stuff, and I hear JBL go, hey, that's Emma, Michael. And I go, what? And I look, and I'm like, Emma, where? And then here she is in the crowd. She's got this sign that says Emma, like, hashtag Emma training or something like that. Emma tranny something. It said something as Samoa Joe tries to rear naked choke Xavier Woods out of this match. Oh, and he doesn't. And she was sitting there holding the sign with one hand, doing the Emma dance with the other. It was hilarious, it was great, and suddenly I was interested in the Divas on Monday Night Raw. It was so surprising, as Samoa Joe, a possible Money in the Bank qualifier, defeats Xavier Woods. Very cool. This is good. See, even NXT is doing what I want it to do without my help. That's great. And another reason that I don't really like to manipulate matches is because I like to have fun with all of you. And the fun part of it with me is the unpredictability. The thing I see with most people and what I think they do wrong. And this is actually something I did. I'll talk about this a little bit. I actually commented on one of Teaming Tubby Emu's, basically Tubby's channel, on one of his Universe Mode videos. And it was one of his first ones, 1 or 2, either episode 1 or 2. And the big problem I had with it is that it took me right out of the disbelief. Or the whatever. The suspending of disbelief, whatever that term is. Because with me, when you're watching it live, with me, with my live commentary, you're seeing me react live to what's going on. This match, Undertaker and Ziggler, I have no idea what's going to happen. But if you see me manipulating the match, and if I'm playing as The Undertaker, you're going to think I'm either going to, and the way I'm commentating, you're either going to say, okay, The Undertaker's going to win, and you could just skip to the end of the match. With me, anything can happen at any time. That's, so like, I commented and I said, hey, Tubby, listen, man, I've had a lot of past angering issues with you, and I still don't agree with what you do advertising-wise on your channel. But I will give you a piece of advice. A lot of people, I think, would find more enjoyment from you just watching the matches as compared to you manipulating and controlling who's going to win the match. Because basically what was going on is he had about a 10-minute match, and he was manipulating it. He was playing as somebody, and then that's basically it. He was playing, and he was like, is he going to win here tonight? And you're like, well, yeah, of course he is. You're playing him. And, you know, it was just, I don't know, it just took me out of it. So that's another huge reason why I do my universe mode the way I do. And that's another huge reason why the Spades are not doing as well as they should be doing. Because their AI just can't defeat John Cena. Their AI cannot defeat Tons of Funk. And I don't know why. So, that is another issue. Alright, let's move on. There's a lot of stuff that happened on Monday Night Raw tonight. We just got loads of stuff to talk about. But before Monday Night Raw, let's talk about WWE Network. This thing is $10 a month. You get almost every previous episode, I believe. You're going to have NXT on this network. You're going to have Superstar. You're going to have everything on this network. They said that they're going to have old episodes of Monday Night Raw. Oh, and Ziggler getting attacked by Del Rio. Another Money in the Bank entrant. Taking out Dolph Ziggler. Great. Alright, just feed him The Undertaker. Interesting. They do have a built-in rivalry, obviously, from the default settings. Okay, so yes, the network. You're gonna get Legends House finally. I don't know if this is the same one. What the hell? And it's Jericho. And Jericho's coming out. And he's gonna attack The Undertaker. Look at the Money in the Bank people here. Del Rio coming out and defeating and whooping Dolph Ziggler's ass before the match. Jericho coming out and taking out Taker to even it back up. Is this a mind game between Chris Jericho and Alberto Del Rio? Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it. I couldn't really decide who I wanted to mix and match for this Money in the Bank match, but as of right now, I want to do a singles match with Chris Jericho taking on Alberto Del Rio live on Monday Night Raw next week. That's what I'm going to do for that second match that we would mix and match. And if I can, I'll do it a lumberjack match, but I don't think I'll be able to do that. So, I don't know. I might try to get the other 4 competitors, whoever, Samoa Joe or Damian Sandow, whoever might win out of that one, and we'll try to see if they can get in it. But, yeah, it's going to be Del Rio versus Chris Jericho in some form or fashion on Raw. That was awesome, and that worked out so well. Wonderful. That is great. So, yes, back to the network, as I've been interrupted twice during this match. I knew this would be a great match to watch. I knew it. The network is going to give you every single pay-per-view, starting with WWE WrestleMania. That's awesome. WrestleMania 30 on the WWE Network. That's great, but the only hang-up is I could get this on my Xbox. $10 a month, and I'll start it in February, March, April. Okay, so that'll be fine. So, and it's a 6-month thing, so $60 over the next 6 months, and they're going to give me WrestleMania. That deal is awesome. If you're a wrestling fan, get this network. If you don't have internet, that's a bit of a shame. But if you have cable, you can still do what you do. But if you have internet, you don't even need cable anymore. The only thing I have ever needed cable for is, you know, TV shows that I would like to watch. TV shows like Psych on USA after Raw. Or you know, just kind of silly, stupid stuff. Klondike coming out looks pretty good. But you know, I don't need to watch that. I have Hulu, and I'm pretty sure Hulu is going to carry some of that stuff. And if it doesn't, it'll be on Netflix in a year. so I'm not too worried about missing TV shows. So this WWE Network is a great way for wrestling fans to save money and actually get 24/7 content. I think it's a brilliant idea. This is what they had wanted to come out with a year and a half ago, and they're finally doing it. It's wonderful, wonderful news. All right, so let's talk about Monday Night Raw. I've got 3 major storylines here. Let's talk about the one I care the least about. Well, we have 4. Let's talk about the 4th one I care least about. Del Rio versus Batista. I love Del Rio. But him versus Batista, I know that it's just Del Rio's going to get eaten up by Batista. Batista's going to gobble him up and spit him out and destroy him in the Rumble. Something like that. So poor Del Rio. Now let's go to my 3rd least favorite or whatever. John Cena and Randy Orton. I don't know what it is. I just can't get behind them. I feel like I've seen it before. You know, like I didn't have a problem with it when it was leading up to the unification match. I thought that was really good. The promos were good, the hype was good, but in this it's like, wait, Orton just did what to Cena's father? Hold on, didn't he do that before? As Dolph Ziggler goes for the win. So I don't know, it's just really perplexing. I was like, if I'm John Cena's father and Orton's done that to me before, I think if he's out in the ring, I'm going to be a little careful and be on my guard. So, I don't know, it just wasn't believable, and it was kind of stupid, and I didn't like it. And John Cena Sr. has an optical eye nerve that's been out of place now. Now, this one's interesting. Do I like the Daniel Bryan story or the Punk one more? I think I like the Daniel Bryan one second best to the Punk and Shield one, and I'll explain why. So let's talk about Daniel Bryan. For the past 2 weeks, Daniel Bryan has been with the Wyatt family, and basically everyone on my podcast kind of saw through the facade that, well, it just doesn't make sense to turn him heel. He's the top guy. Storyline wise, going into WrestleMania, he needs to win the Rumble and win the title for the whole story to make sense, as Undertaker wins this match. So yeah, there was a lot of factors going into Daniel Bryan, and this is the main story. Daniel Bryan will win the Rumble, and if he doesn't win the Rumble, he'll find a way into the match at Elimination Chamber, and he will win the title at WrestleMania. Something huge is about to happen to Daniel Bryan. He's about to be made, and he definitely deserves it. At the end of Monday Night Raw tonight, he turned his back on Bray Wyatt, whooped his ass, and the whole crowd, and when I say the whole crowd, I mean everybody in that crowd, was doing the yes chant. It was impeccable. Daniel Bryan's got all this power that he probably is still not knowing of, but he's huge. And then let's talk about my favorite, as Undertaker. What's going to happen here? Oh, what? Kane, Daniel Bryan, and The Undertaker. What's going on here? They're angry about being snubbed from my universe mode? Okay. the Brothers of Destruction? Hell yeah. Or would it be no, it's got to be something with no and yes. Oh, okay. Okay. Is it Team Hell No? No. The Brothers of Destruction Goats, yes, or something like that. What a stupid name. I can't think of names. You guys are going to do better than me, but that was awesome. There you go. Brothers of Destruction and Team Hell No converging into a super group here. They're angry that they're being snubbed from the Money in the Bank. They're being snubbed from my universe mode. That is hilarious. Alright, so we've got Cesaro versus Roman Reigns. That's interesting. RVD and Goldust taking on Kevin Nash and Leo Kruger. Aiden English versus Bo Dallas in a rivalry match. Rey Mysterio and Ricky Steamboat, rivalry match. And Orton versus James Storm, rivalry match. See, repeat. I hate that, and I think I might stop these silly rivalries. I'll only have one per show. And everything else I'm going to kind of have to like work out and see what they do. Because look, Antonio Cesaro versus Roman Reigns, that's a dream match. Right? Leo Kruger teaming with Kevin Nash. Meh. RVD and Gold Dust, so sometimes it's crappy, and that's when you just change them. Those two matches are going to be changed anyway, so whatever. We're going to have to change it somehow. But let's continue with why I think CM Punk and The Shield was the best storyline of the night. Because the Wyatts with Bryan face the Usos, and I love the Usos, but they just don't have the dynamic that The Shield has. Also, Punk tonight on Monday Night Raw got punked. I didn't see this coming. I don't think anybody saw this coming. So let me lay out the scene here. It's CM Punk with the New Age Outlaws, and they're taking on The Shield. And it's great because Roman Reigns has beat CM Punk, so he's confident. Dean Ambrose hasn't beat CM Punk yet, and he's irritated at it. He just hates CM Punk. Whenever CM Punk's in the match, he's going after him. He hates him. And then Seth Rollins is just kind of like the guy trying to give advice, trying to yell, trying to, tell people what to do. So that's fine. He doesn't have a whole lot of dynamics to him, as much as Dean and Roman Reigns do. So, on the other side, you've got the New Age Outlaws helping out Punk against The Shield. Okay, so this is going to be a pretty cool match. So, Punk is in the match, and he gets into the match about halfway through, and then the Shield just starts beating him down. And then Roman Reigns does the DX chop to New Age Outlaws, and then, it gets to a point where Roman Reigns gets kicked in the head, and CM Punk is going to go for the tag for the New Age Outlaws. And then the New Age Outlaws don't let him get the tag, and they walk out on CM Punk. And CM Punk is sitting there, and he just doesn't know what to do, and he gets beat by the Shield. And it was great because Dean Ambrose screwed up during the match. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns had to yell at him. It was great. So, there's two different storylines here. And one of them is the Shield cracking, Roman Reigns defeating CM Punk and still defeating CM Punk this week, and D-Generation X, or the New Age Outlaws, turning heel, or pretty much doing as the Authority says. Remember, Triple H is the Authority, and no one knows New Age Outlaws better than Triple H. Just like Shawn Michaels, just like Kane, it's just all these older guys just turning their backs on the faces is awesome TV. I love it, and I would love to see Ric Flair do the same thing. I love betrayals. It was so good, so well done, and Punk gets punked is my favorite thing this week. Other than that, there's not a whole lot of news. I hope I didn't miss anything. TNA, not a whole lot happened. It's just kind of like building. And it's still not to a point where I'm watching it weekly. I'm watching a lot of TV shows, a lot of them. They are out. They are out in full force this month, especially. And I've been watching a load of those, and I still have stuff to do after this recording. So there you guys go. 33 minutes. I hope that this NXT helped absolve any anger of Monday Night Raw being stupidly erased by myself. So that's what happened on Raw. I've already got a match etched out next week for Raw, and I've already got plans for the go-home show of Money in the Bank. And then we'll have the Money in the Bank next Sunday. Is that correct? I just want to double check. Yes, so next Sunday, not the Sunday coming up, but next Sunday. We will have Money in the Bank, and we're going to figure out who is going to get that shot at any title that they want. So, ladies and gentlemen, Friday Night SmackDown will be out Friday. Monday Night Raw will be out Monday. NXT next week will probably be reduced again if there's nothing to talk about, but it's the road to WrestleMania on Raw, and I'll record these Monday night after Raw, so most likely I'll be talking a lot about a lot of stuff. And then we'll have Friday Night SmackDown, the go-home show of that. That'll be the 6-on-6 tag match between the Money in the Bank qualifiers, obviously the championship, and the 3 rivalries. And then Money in the Bank happens. After that, we'll be leading up to SummerSlam. And I will actually be having to work quite hard this next couple of weeks to try to get some form of in writing how I'm going to do the briefcase, the TNA thing, Feast or Fired. So I'm not quite sure how I want to do it. And it doesn't really make sense. I was thinking about it. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I might cancel it. I might not. Because there's just not in a WWE game, there's just no real way to do it. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm done rambling on. A lot of great stuff happened. A lot of surprising stuff happened. What a great Monday Night Raw. And what a great week in wrestling, to be totally honest. I thought very entertaining indeed. And stay tuned for Friday Night SmackDown. I will have that up and going, and it will be there Friday. I promise. I won't delete it. That being said, I am Derek D. Ginger King, checking out.